to Call Me Old Fashioned. It's time to grab your glass, fill it up to the brim, because now it is time for 4 hours for commercial-free bourbon drinking.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. I almost forgot putting my mic on. That's how you start a live stream. There it goes. And welcome to the live stream. Happy Friday. Hopefully, you guys are doing good. Hopefully, you got a drink. You guys ready to sit back, hang out? This one's not going to be an overly long live stream, but we're going to break into some bottles. As you can see, we are Penelope'd up. We got the Havana. I had to get a couple other ones just to get this one. So we also went with the the barreled strength at 114 proof and the Rosé cast finish. But anyways, I didn't even check. I should probably check the audio to make sure it's working. It looks like it's working. Hopefully you guys can hear me. That's a fun way to start the stream. I literally clicked start and I was like, I don't know where my mic is. So either way, guys, happy Friday. Thanks for joining. Let's check the chat and then let's get the cracking into some of these. So, Bourbon Day says, I can't wait. Hopefully, you're not at work still because you're usually at work when we're live. Chris in the chat says, heck yeah, let's go. Tater Dom says, cheers everyone. Isaiah in the chat. Chris says, you have a bottle of Penelope Havana? Heck yeah. Yeah, surprised me too. The video and audio are good. It was touch and go there for a second, so you never knew. You never knew what was going to happen there. So it was, yeah, it was funny. I thought it was funny at least. Anyways, so kind of dive in on how we even got it, right? Because I know a lot of people are hunting the Havana right now, trying to find it at Total Wine or ABC. It's in the vault for ABC for some reason. Total Wine won't let anybody have it. And then you obviously have the secondary market. It's been hitting a couple shelves randomly. People have been snagging them up pretty quick. I honestly, I was on my way home from work. Traffic was bad one way, so it drove me towards one of my normal liquor stores that I was going to, but I haven't been in a while. So I know they have a point system, which I've had points. I've just never used it. So I went, looked. They actually had it. Lucky me. I was able to do it. All I had to do is spend a couple dollars, and then I was able to get the Havana for basically MSRP. And then, yeah, ready to ride. So Dominic said, ordered 2. What'd you order 2 of? But yeah, either way, guys. So we were able to pick it up. I've been looking for it. Everybody I've heard has been saying that it's really good. They say it's really sweet. So my question is going to be for the night is like, is the Havana too sweet? Is it really worth the hunt? Because again, you know, most people usually hunt like really high proof whiskey. This one's only 93 proof. Typically with the 93 proof stuff for Penelope, I haven't like been, you know, drooling over or anything like that, but a lot of people seem to like this one. So we're going to crack it open. We're not going to do it first. I'm going to do the Rosé cast finish first, just to kind of warm up the palate a little bit, make sure Havana gets a fair shake. This one's also another low proof. This is 94 proof. But I will say, when we went to, where was it? Manifest Whiskey in Jacksonville. You know, you get a flight there, and they give you get to pick whatever pours you want. They had a Zinfandel finish whiskey, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't like my favorite by any means, but it was pretty good. So this one, I believe I got for fairly cheap, and so I'm here for it. That, and it kind of looks cool against the other Penelopes, so why not? I'm sure somebody likes it out there, so why not have it? So let's dive into this first one. Dominic says, Havana just landed in Cali. 2 combo orders. What's a combo order? Did they make you like buy other things to get it or something? Is that what you're kind of getting at? RMZ says, good evening, y'all. Welcome to the stream, baby. All right, so let's dive into this first one. All right, I'm going to slide these over, and we're going to focus on this one, the little Rosé. So this one's going to have a 74% corn mash bill, 15% wheat, 7% rye, and 4% malted barley. It's going to be the straight bourbon whiskey, which means probably just the minimum age of the 2 years. And then it has an extra 4 months. Yeah, an extra 4 months in, I'm guessing, rosé barrels. In the finishing process is what it said. So, yeah, it says rosé wine cask from southern France. I want these to line up, so hopefully I have my knife in here. All right, let's dive in. Okay, decent pop, decent pop. Said, yeah, I had to get 2 other bottles with the combo. One was the Toasted and Architect. The other was a Rosé and the 80 proofer. I mean, the Toasted and the Architect is that's a solid little package. The Rosé and the 80, no. I don't know if I do that. If like that was your only choice, I guess, sure, you must really love Penelope. But that the 80 proofer, I just can't. I don't know what I would do that, because for just sipping reasons, like I'd want it 90 proof at least, for like cocktails and stuff like that. 80, I don't know. I guess to have on the shelf just for looks, you know what I mean? Like, sure, or to complete a collection. I don't know. Somebody told me that earlier. They're like, you need the white one. I go, I don't need the white one. It's a little different there. So this one is, what do you say? Oh, it just kind of like scrolled up weird. It's like, yeah, only choice. I mean, hopefully you like Havana. If you had to buy those two to get Havana and you don't like Havana, I'd be disappointed. But the other one, the Architect, they should have mixed it up. They should put the Toasted with one and the Architect with the other one, because I feel like those two are one of their better selling ones. That and the barrel proof. So decoy bottle. See, that's how they do it. Oh, decoy bottle on your shelf. Yeah, that's kind of smart. I don't know if I could like get somebody to just focus on that bottle with everything I have, but I hear where we're going with it. All right, let's dive into the notes here. It's really light. I'll say that. I don't know if I get the rosé. Maybe my brain's playing tricks on me, but I kind of get like more like fruit, like fruity, right? Like fruit sweet. I thought something was in my glass again. Maybe vanilla. I don't know. My nose is playing tricks on me right now. Okay, I get the wine on that one. I get the wine on the palate for sure. It's kind of good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not like my favorite by any means. But like, if you wanted something a little bit unique, like if you're trying to get into wine finishes and not too big on like ports or sherry, I could see this being like a stepping stone. It's closer to like just being bourbon than like a wine finish, I'd say, because it's lighter. But I get like, you kind of get that same like sweetness level as you would through just like a normal whiskey with the vanilla and the caramel stuff. But it's got like a nice little fruit note going on, maybe like a strawberry or a raspberry kind of vibe. And then the rosé's just got this little like spice to it. Kind of like it. I mess with that. The finish got a little weird kind of aftertaste. I'm gonna guess that's from the wine finish. You get just like little hints of oak, but it's not like nothing to call mom about. Chris says, the Havana I heard is banana bread and a nice maple flavor, which sounds amazing. It does sound amazing. I haven't really paid attention to like tasting notes on it. I just hear that it's like super sweet like syrup. So being a maple finish, I imagine it's got something along the lines of maple, but I mean, at the end of the day, you never really know. So anyways, what are you boys sipping on? Or ladies, if you're watching. What are you guys sipping on? Are you having cocktails tonight? You doing a pour? Like, where's the vibe going tonight? I just want like one little sip here. then we'll move on. I see this one being the one that like is not moving off shelves because I keep seeing it go lower and lower in price. Like obviously originally it was like 45, 50-ish when it started, and I think it's down to like $35 most places. And like 35, maybe not most places, where I've seen it. So I imagine it's just the one that nobody really cares too much for, if I had to guess. I mean, overall, nice and sweet. Definitely not over on this one. Isaiah says, sipping on Architect. Okay, there we go. We're doing a Penelope night, boys. It's Penelope Friday. Tuck says, I'm drinking my Penelope white label in honor of the Penelope Live. Tux, I don't know how long you've been here, but I'm gonna say the Rose Cask gets a pass. Like that's it. Like it's good, right? I don't know if I'd buy it again, right? But I like having it. I like being able to take it, a couple sips from it. It's not gonna be my go-to by any means, but I'm not mad at the purchase, right? Versus like the Valencia, I don't really care for the Valencia at all. But it's gotten better, right? But for as far as first pour of the night goes, I'll say that's a win. I'll take that. That's strawberries, bro. That's like a little strawberry cream action there. Like the vanilla and the strawberry mixes fairly well. I like that. He's like, I've been here since the start. Yay, we got all the Penelopes. Everybody's got Penelope. RMZ says, old fashions with blue note, uncut, store pick, 118.6 proof. Now we're talking. I still need to get a blue note, but I look at them every time I go in. I don't see the uncut, and I don't see store picks lately. I did in Georgia, but you know what I mean? I didn't buy it in Georgia. Well, don't ruin it, Tux. We gotta let the people know how it all goes. Yeah, I mean overall, bro. Chris says hard Mountain Dews tonight for me. Jesus, bro. My curiosity got the best of me on the way home. No, I will say if you are like a big Mountain Dew guy, the Baja Blast, it's okay, but they are like hangovers from hell. Like no joke. The next day will suck. Don't drink too many of those. Don't let that be your only drink tonight. And drink water. It's just they got so much sugar in them. Tuck says you should also make an old fashioned with the Havana. I thought about that, but 93 proof and it already being kind of sweet, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Maybe after I try it, we could toss up the idea again. But I was thinking the barrel proof. 114. You know what I mean? Like that sounds more like my kind of old fashioned. But anyways, as far as the Rosé goes, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say I recommend it, but if like you're trying to get into a wine finish and you're not ready to jump into the port or the sherry, this is a good stepping stone. It's not overly wine. It just has like subtle hints of it. Like it's a nicely finished wine. It's not just like boom wine in your face, but it's there. It's nice. So I'll take that as a win. Tux says if I had to rank the rosé out of 100, I give it a 71. I don't know what number y'all putting on it. Out of 100, I feel like that's. Wavy says strike while the cheese is warm. I've never heard that term before. I don't even know how to respond to that. Is like that a good term or is that like a bad term? Like you strike while the iron's hot, but like strike while the cheese is warm. Like what we got? Chips? Are we going for the dip? I don't even know here. Like I'm going down a rabbit hole I don't know if I need to be on. North Florida says, cheers, how's everyone tonight? I think we're doing pretty good, North Florida. I think we got a couple new pickups. We got like 3 new pickups. But First bottle of the night, first crack. Already in the W category. Soul says meth. Okay. A way to make an entrance, Soul. Curtis. LO said, bro made that up. Made what up? Strike. Oh. Wavy made it up. Is that what you're saying? The cheese is warm? I've never heard of that, bro. But, see, there we go. That's a pop. But like if like somebody like painted the picture better, like what are we going for, the cheese dip, or like what are we going with? Just a butter knife through cheese? Like what are we making? You know, like it doesn't make sense. All right. Let me grab some water, cleanse the palate. Curtis says, strike while the cheese is warm. Yeah, that's what I figured. I mean, if he made it up, good on him. But all right, let's go into this one. So this one's going to be, let me scoot that back. This one's going to be the Penelope blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, barrel strength, 114 proof, batch 19. Whoever had that has about as good as handwriting as I do, which is not saying something. Just so everybody knows. Mash bill on this is going to be 82% corn, 8% wheat, 7% rye, and 3% malted barley. So far, mash bill, I like how they're introducing the wheat and a little bit of rye. Gives you a little bit of complexity to it, but we're still keeping it as, you know, majority corn. So, Doug says, I don't know if I have high hopes for Call Me Old Fashioned and the barrel strength, LOL. I feel like if there's one I would like, this would be it, right? Like, I like the Architect. It has a vanilla vibe that I want, but, like, I like good whiskey, too. I don't like the Valencia too much because it got a weird taste to it. The toasted is just a little too far. It's like you left the Pop-Tart in the oven too long. You know, he's slicing the cheese when it's warm. So, on the nose, it's not bad. It's kind of basic though. I'll tell you that right off the top. It definitely is a weird change from the other one, just as far as like proof goes, but it's got a lot more ethanol on the nose. I don't know. Basic vanilla, caramel. I don't know. Maybe some fruit, but like very light, if any. Yes. LOL. I got it. Let's dive into the palate. I like the. Hold on. It's got a weird vibe to it, but it's kind of like just standard bourbon, standard whiskey. You know what I mean? The notes aren't anything crazy. Like, as far as like sweetness levels, it's really not that sweet, but it's got hints of like the vanilla, the caramel, stuff like that. Maybe a little toffee, right? I'd say something along the lines of like something like that. Definitely got a good amount of like oak to it. I get like some dried bitter oak in there. As far as like it kind of dries your palate out a little bit. Not too much. It's not like how I described the 1792 stuff. But I will say probably the shining part of this one is going to be the finish. The finish got a little bit more spice to it, which kind of gives me a little something. There's one note in there I can't really pick out. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Maybe like a burnt brown sugar, something along the lines like that. I wouldn't say like I'm like overly impressed, But like for the right price, this is like a decent bottle that I think would be pretty good in mixers. I also think it'd be like good just like to throw into the night. Because I believe this one's been going on sale too lately. This one for 114 proof, around 50-ish bucks. There's probably better options out there, but I think it's good. Like there's nothing wrong with it, but I wouldn't run to the store to go pick up another. How about that? That's a better way to explain it. Like if you wanted to collect them all, like Pokemon, then by all means. Not a bad bottle. It's not like a waste of money, but it doesn't like blow me away. You know, it doesn't like make me say, crap, I totally have to go pick up another one. But it's good. Somebody disliked the stream. It's all right. Thanks for tuning in anyway. Tuck says, I usually just use mine to mix higher proof drinks. Kind of boring for me. That's kind of where we're at. You know, it has a little bit, but all the notes are kind of just kind of muted into the basic bourbon stuff. And there's nothing wrong with having just normal basic bourbon, right? There's nothing wrong with that at all. But I think in a world of like whiskey, right, and bourbon and stuff like that, with as many bottles I have on my shelf, I usually gravitate with something with a little bit more character, a little bit more pizzazz, as far as like I want it to impress me a little bit more. And $50 nowadays is not cheap. You know, I'm not going to categorize this as a budget bottle. It's mid-range. It's not bad though. At the end of the day, to be honest, like someone like me, I wanted to eventually have this one just so it looks good on the shelf, because you know, having them lined up like this, it looks good, right? It's aesthetic. So it's like buying throw pillows. They're not comfy. You don't want them. They're useful at times and they look good. So that's Penelope barrel strength. That would make a mean TikTok. I'm just saying, Tuck says I gave my barrel strength 65 out of 100. It's like I love the proof on this one, right? I love the 114. That's a sweet level. It definitely drinks under 114 though, by the way. It drinks more like 100, 105. But I like the Rosé better, as it gives me something more unique than just standard bourbon. So I would definitely rank the Rosé over that one. So just depends. So let's get to the main attraction, and then we can make an old fashioned with one of them. One of them. I need a little energy drink for this one, boys. Chris says, what's the proof on the barrel strength? 114? Yeah, 114, 57%. It's batch 19, I think. Or batch 1G. Bro, handwriting is atrocious on this thing. Somebody lied on their application when they got that part of the job, for sure. Northward says, I dig the marshmallow toast. You know, I want the marshmallow toast, but if it's anything like super close to the regular toasted, I wouldn't care for it. I wish I could do a comparison of the two and just be like, hey, it doesn't make sense. But I don't want to waste the money on a marshmallow toast when I already don't care too much for the regular toasted. Like, it's good. It's really good in old fashioned. But that, I always use it, and it feels like I'm talking mad shit about it. It's like you're getting chased around a campfire, you know, and the smoke just keeps hitting your face. It's toasty. It's good during the winter, but during the summer, no shot. Even though, like, people go camping this summer and definitely roast marshmallows, so maybe I'm completely wrong. So, anyways, let's get to the main attraction here, the bottle. I don't care if you guys all have been waiting on it. I've been waiting on it. Once I saw the logo, once I saw it in, like, this neon, I was like, getting that one. Getting that one for sure. I just like the look of it. I think it's a good-looking bottle. Plus, I do like maple syrup. And a lot of times, if this was higher proof, I feel like it would make really mean old fashions in general. But because I like mixing some of my old fashions with maple syrup. So this one, I have high hopes for it, but I guess we're going to have to figure it out, taste it, and figure out where it stacks up against the other ones. Now I may bring over my other Penelopes and we kind of break into those as well. But Dominic says walnut bitters old fashioned with Havana. Sounds good. I don't know if I have walnut bitters. I have black walnut syrup, but I don't know if this one needs syrup. I feel like I hear it's super sweet already. So I'd be curious to kind of see where that falls. Tuck says I gave my Havana 150 out of 100. Oh, jeez, bro. The pressure is on. Pressure's on. Now, I will say this one's definitely one of the more expensive Penelopes, not including like the Rio or the American Light Whiskey or any of that kind of stuff. So as far as like barrel proof, rosé, toasted, all that kind of stuff, this is kind of up there as far as price wise. So Northway says you're gonna have to do a blind against the sap squash sometime. Do you feel like that's in the same category? Havana hot chocolate, Chris. That sounds delicious. But not right now. Not right now. All right, let me break into this one real quick. As far as mash bill goes, this one's going to be 73% corn, 7% rye, 16% wheat, and 3% malted barley. Again, 93 proof, part of the Copper Series. Hey, I'm not saying, just saying. Synthetic corks though, minus 1 point. I like the colors on this one too. Penelope knows how to market a bottle. That's one thing they got going on for sure. They know how to market a bottle. Guys, if you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. At 2,500, we are going to do giveaways of samples. Bro, it's something wrong with this glass in particular. I might have like scratched this glass actually, because this was the issue on the other live stream. Yeah. Tuck says, just seeing the Penelope on screen is like blank to me. All right, all right. Chris says, just putting chocolate chips in pancakes, just saying. They put chocolate chip in pancakes, just saying. I mean, they do. All right, let's check it out. When I did see somebody in the liquor store, I can't remember who it was exactly, but they were saying like it was like syrup in the glass. I don't know if I see it like that. Okay, maybe I do a little bit. But let's dive in. Ooh. I will say, as far as like the Rosé is 94, like 1 proof point higher than the Havana, and the Rosé has like no ethanol. This at least has a little bit, which to me kind of already registers it's going to have a little bit of, punch to it as far as where's it you kind of drink at. Hopefully it's a little higher than 93 is what I'm kind of hoping for. But let's see. Oh, that's a nice one. I don't know what that is. I almost get like a candy note, like a Smarties. I don't know what that note is. You get maple, don't get me wrong. But there's like a sweet light note in there that's kind of like unique. Darth says, how did you get unbanned after you ate your own? Get the fuck out of here. That's good. Let's see. I don't know what that note is, but it is delightful. I'm gonna say the banana bread note is kind of there, but I don't know if you just put that in my head or not. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. It is sweet. Hold on. We got it, boys. We got it. Ready? Hold on. I can't find the right button. Can't play the whole thing. I'll get copyrighted. Yeah, I mean, that's money. It is very sweet, right? So I'll say, like, you got to go into it knowing it kind of feels more desserty, right? I like the maple note on this though. It's not like punch you in the face like you're eating a pancake style, but it's there and it's like nice and kind of like light maple. It's got a little spice on like kind of like the back of your palate. Kind of sits like right at the beginning of your throat. Obviously, you get a little bit of that vanilla too. A little bit of like, I don't know what you call that. Maybe tobacco. It's got a little bit of like, you know, punch to it. I'm guessing it's like cinnamon or a baking spice of some kind. You know what it probably is? Chris just said molasses note. No, it's not molasses. This does have, it's thick with two Ks. You know what I mean? Like thick. That's how this is. Sometimes you can complain about a whiskey being thin. This thing, when you back it up, it's like beep, beep, beep. You know what I mean? Like this thing thick. But in like a good way, you know? It may be from like the rum barrels, because this is obviously finished in, you know, their maple finish barrels and the rum barrels. I bet you that note that I'm getting, I have no idea what it is. But it's like light, almost like fruity. I said like sweet tarts. This is like as close as I can get to it. It's unique. It is a unique sweetness note that I don't know how to describe. Maybe I need to eat more candy or something. But it's different. And I'm going to guess it's got to be coming from that rum barrel, because I haven't had a lot of rums, or at least in like to this kind of setting. I've drank rum, but not to that extent. You know what I mean? So you still get a little bit of oak on it. Nothing too crazy. So if like somebody's like, "Oh, how's the oak levels?" Like it's decent. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be scared of this if you weren't a big oak fan, but finish is short. You know, I thought it was gonna like kick into it. I will say, as like the more I kind of talk about it, it sits in your throat just a little bit longer, but not enough to like bump it to another level. You know what I mean? JC says plenty of viscosity, plenty like thick. You didn't see the whole thing when I did that? Thick. I was like backing it up. I go beep, beep. You know what I mean? Like she got the thickness on the bottle. Chris says, I really enjoy sweet notes on the bottle. I'm definitely going to be on the hunt for a Havana myself. I mean, so that's kind of the question, right? A lot of people, what they kind of ask me is like, hey, is it going to be worth the hunt? It's already kind of hard to get. You know what I mean? Like, is it worth going out to try and look for a bottle that's, you know, 93 proof? And my initial thought was going to be like, no way. For someone like me, I'm hunting it for two reasons. One, well, three reasons. I want it on the shelf for one. Two, I want to bring you guys the content and let you know what I think of it as well. But also three, like I'm a sucker for a good maple finish, right? I'm not hunting out all the maple finishes by any means, but I got one last month. I got one this month now, so they're good. But my kind of final thoughts on this needs one more pour. JC says, sticking to the glass. It does. You know, at first I was like, wait, no, it's not. It's a little, I was thinking it was going to be thin. That's because it like the legs didn't break yet. And I go, damn, it's actually just stuck there. So I went like this and I was like waiting for it. And I'm like, oh, it must have ran off quick. That's because it hits up here and it still hasn't broke even now. But now it's broke. crazy. It's not, I don't know. It's got to be straight syrup. The cork got some strength to it too. Anyways, so the cork didn't want to go back in. To kind of answer the main question, right? Is it too sweet and is it worth the hunt? Or is it worth the hunt, per se? Now, I'm going to say, is it too sweet? It's going to depend on who you are. I personally gravitate towards bourbons that are a little bit sweeter, right? I like that. No, I like it being sweeter. Like, for example, JC over here, who only really cares for rye, this is not his bottle. Like, I'm sure he'd like to try it, but not his bottle. It is on the sweeter side, very desserty. Banana bread note is there. That's a nice, enjoyable note. The maple is there. It's good. Vanilla, caramel, basic stuff like that. And then it has some unique note that I really enjoy, but it does lead on the side of like a candy-ish note. So, yeah, it is super sweet, but like in a good way and also like an enjoyable way. This isn't a bottle where you're going to kind of like move to the side and say, you got to try this. This one's going to put some hair on your chest. No, this one's almost built for the ladies. If I would say, like, if there was somebody trying to get into whiskey, right? Maybe a lady, maybe a guy, who cares? This could be like a really good like starter one from like sweetness level, and still has a little bit of that spice to it. But I also think it's kind of good for anybody. Is it worth the hunt? Yes and no. I wouldn't be trying to like knock down every store for it. But Penelope, on a lot of their limited stuff, it's like actually limited. You know, like not like the Woodford's double oak where they're like, hey, that's like 5 bottles out there. And the next thing you know, you see 5 bottles at your local store. So this one's definitely gonna be a little bit harder to get, but I would not pay secondary for this. Like I would not be like dropping $250. I've seen it like $300 before. It's not worth that. This thing worth about $100, you know, give or take on your own budget how much more you want to spend, but in the ballpark of $100, the lower the better, right? So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Do I think it's my favorite one? I don't know. I have build 7, I think, of the Architect, and I don't think I've ever had a French oak that's turned to vanilla ice cream before with a decent proof point. So I think the Architect's still going to be my number 1. Havana is definitely going to move into the second spot for sure. Probably followed up like the Rosé. What else do I have over there? Then, no, the wheated, then the Rosé, then the barrel. What I miss? Northway says, my only complaint about the marshmallow was it felt a little thin. Nice to hear. Havana is not. No, definitely not. Not even close. Tuck says, he said, oh my God, Penelope is so hot. It is. I will say, one thing Penelope does have going, it is a sexy bottle. You know what I mean? They got the marketing strategy down. They got the fancy names. You know, they got this one, shoot, got a little neon sign for the name. I thought that was sick. I thought that was a good touch. Chris says, the proof point is probably a good thing for me being a newbie and a novice, but this is bourbon game. Oh, a novice at this bourbon game. I mean, yes and no, right? I think it drinks basically right at its proof point. It has a couple little spices that kind of like make you feel like maybe it could be slightly higher, but nothing too crazy more. But I wish it was more. I wish it was like 10 proof points more. Get to like 100, 103, 105. That would make it just a little bit more exciting. To have a little bit of ethanol, it would cut through a little bit of that sweetness. Because the one thing that I said about the Sapsquatch being 118 proof, that one's all maple. by the way, but it was so super duper sweet. But that proof cut through a lot of it, which I thought helped. Same thing with the bee's knees. Bee's knees is a little bit lower proof. It cuts through the honey, but it's still there. So the lower proof it is, the more that sweetness kind of is in your face. So I think where this one kind of varies off that a little bit, it didn't spend the whole time in, you know, a maple barrel. It spent another part of it in rum barrels. So I think that gave it back some life on that end. JC says, yep, you know me well. By the way, I opened that Virginia rye, don't buy it, poured it down the sink. Damn, that sucks. Sorry you had to waste that bottle though. Chris says, sink whiskey. Guess Fireball is better. Damn, Fireball's better? That's got to be trash whiskey then. That's crazy though. You know, it'd take a lot for me to pour something down the drain, but like, for example, that whistle pig up there that I have, I'd dump that down the drain if I didn't talk about it being bad so often. So, I will say the Penelope, though, the Havana, it is too sweet to be in an old-fashioned. Like, what I mean by that is, normally you can add in the sweetness and control it, right? And then you can put in some bitters, but the bourbon itself usually has a little bit of punch to it. This one doesn't have a lot of punch. It just has a lot of like sweetness and different, you know, complexity notes, but it doesn't have a lot of punch. So if you were like really want like a super sweet cocktail, then sure. I just wouldn't know what to put in it, you know, as far as, you know, bitters and things like that. I don't have a ton, but like all my bitters kind of lean more towards, you know, typical sweeter bourbons in general, or old fashions. Like I have orange and spiced cherry, but I would need something like a little bit more. Somebody said black walnut earlier. Like that probably would be something that could kind of take a little of the edge off as far as sweetness. JC says, make it in a whiskey sour, no simple. I wouldn't want this in a sour. No, it's like the opposite level of sweetness. Like that's like way too opposite way. Maple and lemon, I don't think that would be good. Or maybe a rusty nail, maybe that one, but I don't know. I'd say, like, to be honest, like I think this is more of like that cocktail you drink neat because it has its own uniqueness to it. I just don't know, like, if it would really be good in a setting like an old fashioned with like cherries and bitters and ice and stuff like that. I would like to try it on the rocks. I think that could be something, right? Because I'm not worried about the proof dying down. It already kind of is down, but on the rocks might like liven it up a little bit. Let me ask the wife if she can bring me some rocks. All right. She's tell EH to try it. Let's see if we can get her to. He said she must try it. Come on. I feel like this wouldn't be too bad for her, but she would be kind of pushed away from like the note on the nose. Reba says, greetings from North America. All right. They're big fans of mine. I mean, fuck, you can fly me to Vegas. What's up? Can't be a part of all that, but I mean, actually the 27th, that's not on a weekend either. That's like a weekday. That's like a Tuesday. My kid's birthday's this weekend, probably wouldn't make much sense. Maybe a different time. She comes in with rocks from the yard. Bro, I would die. Where's my other glass? Oh. All right. You don't have to come on screen, but you want to smell this real quick? It's not like normal whiskey, so you may just try it. Take a little sip. It's like maple finish. Take a sip. No? You don't like it?
I just can't do it, babe.
She's
I'm sorry.
okay. She doesn't like it, boys. All right, you can shut the door. Well, boys. Trav says just hop in the shower. I like how you hop in the shower and you instantly come over here. It makes me glad that I'm your shower thoughts. Nosfor says, yeah, I tell you that Triumphant was the best whiskey I've had. The wife also really likes it. I let my dad try some, and he said nothing compares to Chavez. Okay. I haven't tried the Triumph, but I heard it was good, but it was just kind of pricey. So that's how we start stream, boys. Juan, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Happy Friday, boys. If you're just popping in, drop a little like on the stream for the one time. Northfloy says, what's up, Trav? Careful jumping in the shower. You may slip. That's probably his goal. Yeah, I mean, guys, just so you know, like, she's not a whiskey drinker at all. She's not a bourbon drinker at all. For her to even try it had to have got past her nose, been like, okay, I may like this. Just for her to even try it, by the way. So, like, her to even take a sip probably was a bigger step than most people think. Oh, JC says, I also opened up my 2024 Garrison Brothers Cowboy Bourbon. Had to get rid of that Virginia rye out of my mouth. 140.2 proof helped. What'd you think of the Garrison Brothers, JC? Did you like it? Juan says, what's everybody sipping on tonight? Well, tonight's kind of our Penelope live stream, I guess. It must be like Tux's birthday or something. We tried the Rosé, we did the barrel strength, and now we're on the Havana. I like the Havana. I don't think it's old-fashioned worthy. Like, it's not, you can't put it in a cocktail, in my opinion. Not because, like, it's like, oh, you can only drink a neat. I just don't think it would be that great in a cocktail. If you're looking for it to be, like, a little stronger, you know? She likes the cookie dough. Yes, she likes bourbon cream, cookie dough, all types of vodka drinks. And as far as we got her so far is barrel-aged gin. Gin aged in whiskey barrels. So we're taking baby steps. Let's try the Havana on the rocks. I feel like I'm not a big rocks kind of guy in general. And I don't even have the right glass. But I feel like out of all of them that I've had in a while, this one would be pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. It's better neat. Yeah, don't do it over ice. My thoughts on it being in a cocktail was spot on. Like, it's weird. It's weird in a cocktail. Neat is the way to drink this bottle. I think that's the best way to enjoy the bottle. Not just by me being like, drink it neat, pussy. Like, it's more of like a drink it neat. That's how you get the best tasting notes. It's already sweet enough. So Isaiah says, drinking on some Blantons. Now had some Architect earlier. Okay. JC says, yeah. It smelled strong of leather and the palate was melon, like honeydew. Personally don't like melon, but it was still better than what whiskey could. Okay. Sipping on Glenfiddich. Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Chris says, I'm very curious about the Garrison Brothers, but when people tell me it's like drinking an old saddle, I'm kind of like hesitant. Chris, I didn't care for the Garrison Brothers too much. I haven't really tried a bunch of them. I've only had like their one small batch bourbon. I will say that like if you want to get into something that does feel like you're eating a leather shoe, The 13th Colony, just the Southern Straight bourbon whiskey, like the one you probably find at most stores. That one is like all leather, but in like a kind of good way, right? It's like getting a new pair of shoes. You're just breaking in the bottle. It's enjoyable, but I feel like that's a good stepping stone for somebody that's like, hey, I want to get into trying different notes similar to like that. Might be a good choice. Christian, back in the chat, says, I just popped the cork on a bottle of some Woodford's Double Oaked. See? That's how you start a Friday. You know what I mean? Like, you just pop in Woodford double oak corks. Like, you know you're in for a good night. JC says, I'm looking for Detling, Heart, Truth, and Short Barrel. I'm looking for Short Barrel stuff, too. I heard Detling, the bottled and bond that I saw at the Bourbon Barn, is going, they're like stopping production. They're stopping that bottle, I think. So I should have went back and gotten that, but that's kind of a long drive for a bottle and bond, like 100 proof. Yeah, the ice ruined it. Ice for sure ruined it. Kind of made it have like a weird note to it. I'm good on that. Juan says, can't wait till I get home so I can drink a little. Where you at, Juan? It's like 10 o'clock at night, East Coast. I don't know. Garrison Brothers is kind of pricey for what it is, and it's almost like you gotta like it to like it. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. You know. So I wish there was like maybe there is, and I don't even know about it. Maybe there's a spot where you can go try a bunch of Garrison Brothers, like samples or tasting stuff like that, and then be like, all right, this is the one I'd buy. Or same kind of other edge of the sword, be like, I actually don't like any of these. So because all of them around here at least are fairly pricey. Line these out properly here, boys. Yeah, the build 7 I have, I don't know. Maybe I got this outlier bottle. It's 104 proof, drinks a little higher than that. I don't have much left. I wish the only downside of this Architect is the label is different from all the other ones. Not that I dislike it or anything. It's just, I wish it matched. Juan says, just got out of marital class, LOL. Way home from on my way to have dinner. I mean, you can have a drink at dinner. That's pretty cool. I forgot that some people have to do that. That's a religion thing, I think. Where you have to take classes for the marriage and stuff like that. I didn't have to do that, but I know people that do. I hear it's good though. So Chris says, yeah, I was told to try more regular Garrison Brother releases, and they are a bit lighter. I don't know if I'd want the lighter ones. I want the ones that are more unique, a little bit more punchy, but it's just like, I don't want to spend like $300 to try something, you know? Christian says, what's your favorite Penelope? Let me get this one little sip in and I can answer that. So I'm just going to try the Architect one more time. Architect. All day, every day, Architect. Not even close. The Architect is a little bit lighter, but I think it's just this build 7. Because I had Isaiah's. I totally blanked on his name for a second. Isaiah brought his to that bourbon drop, and I had his, and it wasn't nowhere near like mine. Mine's like super vanilla ice cream, soft serve. Like it gives me weird notes that I haven't had in any other one. That's why I like it so much. Definitely not as thick as the Havana. It's still sweet, but not like nearly as. It's got a good finish. The proof is really good. But the Architect's number one. Like that fits with what I'd want. It would be good in an old fashioned, even though I don't care to have this one in an old fashioned. I'd say the Havana would be up next. I feel like that kind of fits with what I would want to drink. It's unique. It's definitely something I would drink neat. I'd probably then default over to maybe like the wheated that I don't have over here, then the rosé, and then I don't know, the toasted or the barrel strength, just depending on how I'm feeling that day. And then the last one would be the Valencia. So it is what it is for Valencia. Rest in peace. So still need to get the American Light whiskey, the Rio, stuff like that, but Christian said, or JC says, Christian, basic 96 proof white label. The white label is like 80 proof though. Oh wait, he may not be talking about this. He said, give me the rest of your Havana then. No, I like the Havana. I'm just saying like the Architect is still my favorite one of them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I have a feeling it's just because this bottle in particular. I feel like I wish somebody else could try it. Like somebody else come try this damn bottle. You know, I feel like it's a little bit more unique than most people realize. It's got a little bit more giddy up as far as proof. It kind of like just blends well. This one hits all of like the uniqueness notes that I like. You got a checkbox, right? Does it have the sweetness level you like? Yeah, sure. I'm down with that sweetness. Does it have a unique tasting note? Absolutely. It doesn't have enough like punch. It's got a nice little spice on the back end of like the palate and the finish. It just doesn't have enough punch to it. That's my only knock on it. Give me a cask strength Havana. You know what I mean? But they're not going to give us everything all at once. You know what I mean? They're going to slow roll it out. We'll see a Havana cask strength in the future. You know what I mean? We'll see it one day. You never know. What's funny, besides the Architect, the Toasted is like, oh wait, these are all new bottles. I'm stupid. I was about to say the Toasted is the one that's the farthest one down, but I forgot those ones are new. So if you're just tuning in, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. Subscribe if you haven't already. We are on the road to 2,500. When we get there, we're going to do a giveaway of 2 samples. Anything on the shelves you guys pick, we're going to mail down over to you. But we do go live every Fridays, 9 p.m. I think that's kind of the end of our professional-ish portion of the stream. We're about an hour in. I'm not going to be live super long. I have to wake up at like 4:30 in the morning to go to a wedding. And I didn't realize that until this morning. So horrible planning on my part. But let's put some of these Penelope back. Let's leave the Toasted. Let's put back the Architect. We'll put away the Rosé for now. Ow. I kind of like right in a weird spot on my knee. Just out of curiosity, is it like super fuzzy on your guys' side? Or is it like crispy, like is it clean and crispy like normal? Like video quality wise. Tuck says, trying to find that Penelope. I know where one is. JC says he's really only interested in the toasted rye. I've seen it, but I didn't care for the toasted as much. So I didn't really want to get the toasted rye. Even though I kind of do now, just simply because I want to try like what ryes is Penelope working with, because none of these are ryes. Christian says the white labeled 4-grain Penelope was my intro to bourbon back in 2017. One of the owners was doing a tasting at my local spirits, gave me a 80 proof, 4-grain, and the barrel proof. I like the barrel proof. It's kind of basic. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, doesn't like wow me by any means. Like, it's good. Definitely like probably a really good mixing whiskey, like for old fashions or random cocktails or just even like a whiskey and Coke. What I kind of look for with Penelope, especially since it is MGP, right? I want it to be unique, like the Havana, the Rosé, even like the toasted and the weeded. Like, I want to see something just a little unique out of them. A maple finish, bourbon, finished in rum barrels. That's different. You know what I mean? Like, not that it's unheard of, but it brings a little bit of uniqueness to it that I'm here for. I think that allows me to say, you know what, that's worth a buy. If they released a bunch of different versions of the barrel strength, I'd only buy one and I'd be done. So Christian says video is good on my end. Okay, cool. I was making sure. I don't know. Somebody said like it was fuzzy on theirs. Tuck says that's fair. It's a bit much. Oh, he says, Kat, I've actually seen one, but never knew nothing about it, about the finish. So 120, I couldn't go for it. I don't know how much the one I saw for. I just saw it on the shelf and I was like, I should get that. But I was like, I need the Havana first. So I didn't spend it. Because I will say, where are we at now? I think all three get a pass. Like they're thumbs up. So we're well above, the 500 mark. The only ones I didn't really care for were the Valencia and the Toasted. Everything else has been A-okay with me. I thought it was touch and go there with the Rosé for a minute. I thought that could be something I either do like or just absolutely hate. But kind of like I said before, like I went to Manifest Whiskey in Jacksonville. They have like a pour selection where you kind of select which pours you want. They had a Zinfandel one, and I just needed to fill up a last one because I did 2 flights. I said, screw it, give me the Zinfandel one. I thought maybe the wife could try it or something. I'll post that video one day because I have clips from that. But the Zinfandel is actually, I was fairly impressed. It was different, right? Because I'm used to like wine finishes being like super dry or super like feeling like a wine finish. The Zinfandel and the Rosé, both of those being really light wines, to me, and I don't know a bunch about wine either, but to me gave it a different uniqueness. I was like, you know what, I can mess with that. So, Tuck says, yay, we have a positive record on the Penelopes. We had a rough start, but it's getting better. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. So, it was touch and go there for a second, but I think the Havana was like one of those things where it's like, hey, we got an entry into the playoff, right? We just got to get past a couple rounds, and we did 3 rounds all at once. I think they were good. Now, I will say, like, none of them were so impressive that I was like, I have to run out and go get another besides the Architect. But it's all in your preference, right? I think they're all really good. If you can get them for like decent prices, they're definitely good shelf whiskey. So, but anyway, boys, drop a like on the stream. I say we're an hour in. I don't want to overdo it because I got to be up in 7 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I got to be out of the house in 7 hours for sure. So I say we maybe drink the Toasted, like a little pour of the Toasted, maybe another small pour, and maybe, we said we're going to make an old fashioned. We're not doing that. The Havana on ice was not good. Double cast finish. So does this count as a double oak? You know what I mean? No, it doesn't. But it could. But I don't know what he said. Hopefully not bad. They just pulled it over. But anyways, besides, is there anybody in here that is hunting the Havana? Now I know Tux is going to give me shit, but so I made a poll, right? I like doing polls because it gives me an idea of what you guys are like looking for and thinking of. I did a poll. I said, what rare Penelope would you choose? And you guys can still go vote on it. Right now, there's about 30 votes. I put 3 options. I put the Havana, I put the Rio, and I put the 17-year light whiskey, right? I could have put the 15, but I figured 17 is the new one. 60% of people said the 17-year light whiskey. Now, me, I thought 2 things. One, everybody that voted on this is a proof whore. They all just want it because it's like super high proof. Rightfully so, right? Like that's what we all want. In this, because that's going to be the one thing that's going to be super different, is this one is a really high proof. I was surprised to see Havana at 30% and the Rio at 10. Maybe that has to do with this is going to be the second release of the Rio and the first release of the Havana. Maybe that's why. Dominic says the light whiskey. Dominic, was it because it was the proof of why you said the light whiskey? Or is there a different reason? You're the only one that said it. That's why I'm calling on you. That's all. Oh, he commented on it. My bad. He said, since I have 2 Havanas going do the light whiskey next. Going for the light whiskey next. He spelled that wrong. I didn't say that wrong. Okay, I get it. He has 2 Havanas. Maybe he's had a Rio in the past. He's like, light whiskey's up on the bourbon hunt list. You know, and that's where Isaiah says, I'm the majority. I'm the majority. I mean, I honestly, if the next on my list really be whichever one I see first. I want to get the Rio, and the light whiskey feels like that one is going to be the one I like the most. I feel like maybe I am morphing into like this proof snob a little bit, because the proof, the more I drink and the more often I drink, which isn't really that often, I feel like I gravitate towards higher proof stuff because I get more flavors from it. It just is a more enjoyable experience. But oh, Dominic says the light whiskey. The review from the Breaking Bourbon got a 4.5 out of 5. I've never had one. Okay. I don't know if Breaking Bourbon does a lot of them. I don't know if that's a high score for them, but if it's 4.5 out of 5, it's got to be good, right? That's got to be like almost perfect. So good on them for getting their hands on it so early. Tux says, give me your Havanas. No. I mean, Tux, if you drive here, I give you my bottle just so you can say you have it, but I'm not going to just give it to you. I will say, right, I've been knocking the synthetic corks for a little bit, being like they suck or whatever. The one thing I don't have to worry about with the synthetic corks is I don't have to worry about them drying out. I haven't had one yet that's dried out. So I'll say that's a big perk, because I know like when I see these bottles, I don't have to turn them upside down. Like, oh, I got to let them soak for a little bit. But that's just neither here or there. I'm just saying that's one perk to synthetic corks when I usually am constantly shitting on them. So it's not bad. It's just a lot of campfire, you know? Tuck says I'm on my way. All right, see you soon. All right, so my go-to lately has been 1924. But if JC's still here, maybe we go do a little Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, because I barely touched that. That one's still fairly new. I don't know. I feel like I can't constantly am going to 1924, you know? Not constantly, but like, it's been a good choice, you know? Been a good choice. All right. Anyways, so here's this bottle. Slide that right here. There we go. Liz says, "See you soon." Oh, it's a tux. That's like a quick drive for him. He should be here before the stream even ends, right? Yeah, the toasted, like, it's not horrible, but like it just doesn't fit with what I want right now. Toasted stuff to me feels like winter, feels like cold weather vibes. It doesn't feel like a summer drink to me. Christian says, "Have you tried any of the backbone offerings? In my opinion, Bone Snapper, Rye, the Prime Bourbon, and the Uncut are all bangers. MGP source barrels at a great price." I have not. I don't even know if I've ever seen them, to be honest. Yeah, no, but I'll definitely keep my eye out. What kind of price range? You said at a great price. Like, what's a great price to you? Is it like $20 or is it like under 50? He's like, finally could set up this dude's Xbox. I know, right? Bro, I keep telling Tux, like, he doesn't want that smoke. Drop in the comments. Does anybody in here play like Xbox? Just out of curiosity. I know people are like, it's fucking PlayStation. But if anybody plays Xbox, let me know. I'm just curious. I'm thinking about doing like maybe like a members only, like just kind of hangout stream where I just like absolutely destroy Tux in like Call of Duty, 2K, MLB The Show, Madden, and just like blast them, Miss Mabel back in the chat. It's been a while. Says, "I actually just poured myself a Penelope barrel strength just before I started scrolling on YouTube." Well, Miss Mabel, what a time to be alive, because I just opened a Penelope barrel strength. I also opened up the Penelope Rosé. I just put them away, but we'll bring them back over for you. Yeah, I opened up these for you tonight. Barrel strength, Rosé, and obviously Havana, right? Actually, surprisingly enough, as much shit as I've given Penelope, right? I love the Architect, but the Toasted was like my next pickup. It's kind of a weird pour. The Valencia was my next one. Again, I didn't care for that one. I was like, Penelope cannot be that good. Like as people are hyping up. And then I see everybody's craving over this Havana. So I was like, all right, let's pick up a couple more. The barrel strength, it's nothing like super special, but it's a good basic bourbon. Probably a really good mixer as far as old fashions. Or, I mean, shoot, even like a Penelope and Coke. You know what I mean? Penelope and Pepsi, a little PP. I was like lining myself up for the joke, and I couldn't finish it off, Couldn't finish the PP joke. iRock says, "What up, team?" Chris says, "I gave my kids my Xbox. I want a new one, though. I miss playing." I haven't played in, bro, I don't know how long. I just know I have one. And I was like, let me dust it off. And I was like, maybe we spend the next year updating this thing, and then we like do some like member only stuff, and I start like doing a couple gaming things. Not like for the main content or anything, but just like hangout stuff, Yeah, Ms. Mabel says, basically findable at a decent value. I'm completely agree. I've been seeing the price drop on the barrel strength and even this rosé for just for funsies. And the lower it gets, the better value I think it's going to be, because it wouldn't be like my go-to bourbon by any means. But if I was already drinking and I wasn't really caring, like, ooh, let me have something super unique, like, it's a good pour for sure. It's got a good proof. 114 on mine. I don't know if that's the same for all of them. But it's decent, Let's see. Christian says, backbone offerings are under 50 for 6 to 8 years, 105 to 120 proof bottles. They've got that MGP funk with a nice oak sweetness, good complexity. All right, Christian, what do you do? Work for him? Out here selling that bottle. That sounds good with the way you describe it. Miss Mabel says, Last new game I picked up was RD2. Let's see. Tuck says I'm literally playing RD2 right now on my 43rd playthrough. Okay. Apparently everybody's got games in here, and I'm slacking. I always played like boring games, right? I played like MLB The Show, Madden, 2K, Call of Duty. But anytime I played Call of Duty, it's always like a Black Ops I just played on zombies. Chris says Red Dead 2. I've never played Red Dead 2. But I think like a full Call of Duty squad, that would be pretty cool. I'd be down for like a Call of Duty with like just a big squad. He's like, bro, I wish. I mean, honestly, I wish you did too. See, Tux, I'm out here working. I'm trying to get a squad together so we can have a whole little call me old fashioned team out there in Call of Duty. You know, I'm just trying to rally the troops. And then eventually we take the real life paintball and then we really have some fun. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, North Floor says Warzone, multiplayer or zombies. Yeah, bro. It'd be zombies. Bro, I love zombies. Could you imagine just like, I don't know if he even allows us, like 10 of us just in zombies? I don't think we'd lose, but that'd be sick. Tuck says, call me old fashioned channel. Viewers should compete in a call me old fashioned COD game and winner gets whiskey. Like a little tournament. What I would give, you know, I don't know how realistic that would be, but if we ever do like some crazy like meetup or hangout, it's possible. Anything's possible. One day. He's like, love me some NASCAR. NASCAR? I don't know if I could be like this the whole time. You know what I mean? Like the whole stream, I'd just be. Miss Mabel says, I do like whiskey. I think, you know, I think we all do. Anybody with like putting a little gambling behind it, little wager, little winnings. I mean, it's always worth it. You know what I mean? You can always get behind something like that. Just for the people that are in here, I've said it a few times. We're going to make sure you know when we hit 2,500 subscribers, we will be doing 2 different giveaways. One for members. We're going to give away 2 samples, basically any on the shelf. So if you want the Havana sample, you want the I don't know, Stag. What's the other ones I just got? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Russell's 15, 13th Colony Double Oak. You have a chance to win those samples. And then we're also going to do one for normal subscribers as well, right? Whoever's watching them live that night, obviously, I'll announce it before we go live, obviously. But make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. The Warrior in the chat says, you look like an autistic chipmunk. I was gonna do Alvin the Chipmunks. I totally draw a blank. That's my bad. Alvin, you know what I'm saying? That's okay. It nicked me. Little Shane Gillis. I love Shane Gillis. I'm gonna leave that comment. I appreciate it. Thanks for helping the algorithm, my guy. Chris says, I was a bit more into Gear of Wars than Call of Duty, but would love to play and make some new friends. I mean, Call of Duty just sounds like it would be a good time. I didn't play Gears of War. I really didn't play like a ton of video games. Like, don't let me like make it sound like I was just out here playing like every single game known to man. I stuck to my core games. I got into Fortnite for a little bit, like way back when, but I wasn't really. Fortnite was like a part of like when I was getting out of like playing video games. So we'll throw it back to Call of Duty as always. Tuck says, I eventually stopped playing online zombies because all the modders and the glitchers and the tunnel shield. I get it. He's like, I only play solo now. That's sure. That's why you only play solo. Oh, wouldn't be a stream if my camera didn't die, right? Let me swap the battery real quick. It's crazy how quick this camera's battery dies because the other one hasn't even like hit like its second life. It's got like 3 little bars. It still has, or has 4 bars, but it still has 3 of them. It's crazy how quick that one dies. Anyways, autistic chipmunk. Oh my God. That's awesome, bro. Tuck says, that was more of like a Hannibal Lecter than a chipmunk. My bad, bro. Somebody showed me what a chipmunk's like then. It's all right. The War, throw a better comment out so I can like duplicate that one. You know what I mean? Like, say something else. Do it. All right, so we're going to slide these to the side. We're going to break out a different whiskey. I'm going to leave these up here just because we opened these tonight. North always says the bottom camera gets a little affected by the whiskey, I think. It's possible. Definitely possible. Somebody said rye. You know what I did see today too? It was the new Rift, like winter something, like winter reserve or winter bottle, whatever it was with the gold label. It's like a chocolate malt, I think. I didn't want to pick that up because it's not winter anymore. It's past its window for me, but I thought about it. I almost got it. Bro, Miss Mabel out here just with like the dinner of the night. Says I ate his brisket with some mac and cheese and a nice little Stag Junior. You know what I mean? I'm dying. Chase says, pour some nice New Holland while I run rye. Bro, Chase, you got to be Googling the most random ass whiskeys when you come over here. I love that you like can bring like new ones to the table though. You like everything you say, like recommendations. I'm like, I don't have that, but like, do I need to know these ones? I'm like shocked that there's so many whiskeys that I don't have. Can you throw out something that's on my shelf for a second? Chase, just pick a bottle on my shelf. I'll drink it. You just got to pick it. I'm not opening this one till you do it. Raphael says, first time viewer, but I love your setup. Raphael, appreciate that. My setup's okay. I like it. It's pretty nifty. Like I can go like this and then back, obviously. No, the room looks good. I appreciate you stopping by. If it's your first time here, we do bourbon, whiskey. I'm not going to say reviews, but we kind of dabble in that area. Oh, he said that was intentional? I'm glad it was intentional. But pick something else and I'll drink it. But yeah, no, we do some reviews every once in a while. Our reviews aren't as like super serious. I just kind of give you my thoughts, let you know if I think it's worth the price, if I like it. And if you learn kind of where my palate's at, you can kind of get a feel of what that's like. Wayne Gretzky, no 99. Dominic, I'm kind of confused on that. I like Wayne Gretzky, but what's my most obscure bottle? I don't know. I mean, I have a lot, bro. I have a lot unless you talk to Chase. Then I have apparently nothing. Let me do this. Let me see if like. What the fuck? Bro, Chase. What are we doing? He said Middle West Pumpernickel Rye. Do I look like I would have the Pumpernickel Rye? I mean, I guess, let me take that back. I probably do look like that. But no, I don't. Dominic says it's his whiskey. Oh, I didn't know Wayne Gretzky had a whiskey. Raphael says, got heavy into bourbon these past few years, ran into a 10, 12, and a 14-year Jack today, starting at $199 for the 10, up to $699 for the 14. Jesus Christ. I don't even know the price on the 14. I imagine I imagine I'll never see it. I never say never, but I don't know if I can afford it when I see it. I love the 10. I have the 10. I almost got the 12, but they sold it right before I was going to buy it, so that's on me. I love the Jack stuff. Tuck says, yeah, you kind of do. I get it. Like I as soon as I said it, I was like, yeah, I get it. Daniel DR says, what doing? We doing it all, hanging out, having a little fun, drinking a little whiskey, talking a little whiskey. Miss Mabel says $6.99. Hell no, $6.99 is too much for a bottle, in my opinion. But I mean, to each his own. I don't know if that's even close to normal. Christian says my local store has a Jack single barrel proof rye for $100. Worth grabbing? $100? No. I have this one. This is a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, and it is one of the highest proofs that I've personally seen. It's 134.5 proof, and it was like $65, $70, somewhere in that range. So $100, you have to really like Jack, and you really want that single barrel. But you got to kind of be careful, because a lot of these bottles are priced really awkward, because people are like trying to like blend it in with the Coy Hills and things like that. So maybe it depends on if that's like your style, but I'd wait. You can find it $30 cheaper around me, but who knows? Chase says prideful goat rye. You look like you'd have a prideful goat. No, I don't. I would have no whiskey apparently. I'm now like, I'm gonna go to a liquor store. I'm gonna live stream, and the only person I'm letting in the live stream is Chase, and we're just gonna go shopping at this point. I got to get something he recommends. I don't even know what to say to him. Let's see. North Forest says most obscure whiskey. I would go with Fishhawk Conquistador 1513. Okay. Raphael says the same store had that barrel proof rye for $100 too, but I get them at my local Woodman's for $60. $60 would be a really good price for it. And I used to see them at 60 before like a lot of people started hyping them up. I used to see them a lot at around 60, $65 when I was finding them at like 115 to 122 proof. And not that I was like really being proof snobby, but I really wanted one that was really close to the whiskey that I have that's 133. I was like, if I can find one in the 130s, I'll buy it right then and there. Just because I wanted it close to the one that I really love, my Jack Daniel's single barrel barrel proof whiskey. This one's the rye at 134.5. I mean, it's good. It's not my favorite rye either, though. But I do really like the proof is unique on it, and that's good enough for me. Dominic says Jeremiah weed whiskey. I don't even know what that is. Daniel says, I have whiskey. I'm not going to say it out loud, but he said he got that thing right now. Hey, we'll pray for you, my boy. Pikesville. I don't have Pikesville. I don't think, at least. Miss Mabel says, MSRP on the Jack 14 is $150. Damn, hell no. Don't pay no $700 then. Like, I understand, like, it may be really good. And to each his own. Like, if you got money like that, blow it. But if you got money like that, you can give it to me, and I will blow it for you. I'll buy 2 Jack 14s. You start giving me money like that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. 150, I'm sure it's worth. I'm sure it's closer to like 250 as well. Like, as far as like value-wise, close to the Russell's 15. Just from what I've heard people talking about. It could be wrong. I've never tried it. Raphael says, Daniel, you got to go to sleep, dog. Hey, let him do his thing. You know what I mean? There's no stopping him at this point. Michter's Rye? Fuck shit. I do not have Michter's Rye anymore. I have regular Michter's. I have just the regular Michter's bourbon. I do not have the rye. Daniel says I gotta go do something about this, but I don't know how right now. All right, Daniel, this is what we do. I got you. You gotta focus in. Right here. Focus. Water, Advil, food. I don't care what it is. Go to your freezer, open up whatever bag of frozen chicken McNuggets, chicken patties, green beans. I don't care what you got in there. You just grab it, not green beans. It needs to be something with a little bit of bread that can soak it up. Throw it in the oven or air fryer. If you got an air fryer, you're clutching up, right? Kobe. Air fryer is better, but you got the oven, throw it in the oven. Just start eating. Drink 2 bottles of water and the Advil too, because you're gonna have a headache soon. And then just ride out the wave. You'll be all right. Raphael says, have you ever had Traverse City Barrel Proof? That bottle was pure sweet cherry tobacco. No, but that sounds good. I thought you were about to say Travelers at first. Traverse City. I feel like I've seen it, though. You know what? Reality check's always fun. I have a lot of whiskey in this room. Like, over 100 bottles easily. But you guys can always pump out whiskey like that. Have you had this? I'm like, no. I'm like, do I even, like, try whiskey? Like, sometimes I'm in here and you guys are naming off these bottles. Like, I apparently don't drink shit. RMZ says, what would you pay for a George T. Stagg on the secondary? Raphael, just subscribe. Welcome to the family. If you haven't already, subscribe as well. Join Raphael. If you're not part of the Discord, Tux will drop a Discord link. You guys can hop over there. We fuck around sometimes, do some fun stuff. But RMZ, what would I pay for a George T. Stagg? I don't know, because one thing about me personally, right, is, and it's kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? For example, I like finding whiskey on discounts. I love finding whiskeys on sale. I love finding them for MSRP. I don't love paying secondary. And the only reason why is I've always given the same example of the Hell's Kitchen effect. I spent a lot of money at Hell's Kitchen. It was good food, but it wasn't worth the price. It was just the experience. When I'm paying secondary, I'm not getting the experience of finding it. So it loses a little bit luster, and I'm trying to evaluate this bourbon or whiskey at the secondary price when it's not meant to be evaluated at that price. So what would I pay? I don't know. It depends on what I have and when I find it. I found some when I went on my way to Georgia. I didn't even look at the price tag because I was like, I'm not paying. I didn't want to come out of pocket even $500 at that point. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm good. Like, whatever it is, I don't want to pay it. Like, I'll move on. If somebody offered me George T. Stagg for $500, just know, like, I will buy that. But I don't think that I will ever find it for that. I think part of the fun, like, there's always this like battle between people that want to find things for MSRP and people willing to pay secondary, and to each his own. There's nothing wrong with either one. because at the end of the day, it's your money. Do what you want with it. Me, part of the fun of bourbon hunting is finding things around MSRP, right? Or I don't mind paying a little markup, but is it really fun if I find a bottle for 6 times MSRP and I'm like, I found it? No, I didn't. Just nobody else was stupid enough to buy it. So I don't know. That's kind of like my little rant on that. To each his own. If you got money, spend it how you want. Buy the whiskey you want at the price you want. Me, I like spending normal prices most of the time. There's a couple things I've spent a little bit more. So, just depends. Anyways. Christian says, bro, that's the realest advice I've heard. Appreciate it. I'll be out here just spitting truth, apparently. High West. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Rye. You know what's funny? I almost went and got that, though. It's at Total Wine right now. They have a small little stock of it. I still want to drive up to Total Wines a little bit farther. Kristen says, between Maker's Private Barrel Select, Knob Creek Single Barrel, Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof, all around 70. What are you buying? Jack Daniel's, no question. Jay says, Redwood Empire Emerald Giant. I have that. I have all the Redwood Empires, but you could see that, though. You know what I mean? I have this whole shelf's Redwood Empire. I don't have the cask strength, but that's because the Emerald Giant is probably my least favorite of the whole lineup. It just happens to be on the end. That's why you can't see it. Chris says, Old Forester Statesman. I heard it has a great cherry note as well as Stag. Stag definitely does. The Statesman, I've seen it even at Walmart, to be honest. I've never picked it up. I don't know why. I feel like I should, though. Ms. Mabel says, Christian, Four Roses Single Barrel Select. I do have a Four Roses Single Barrel. And I even have the regular Kentucky Straight Bourbon of the Four Roses, like the normal cheap one. Raphael says, talking about second prices, have you ever scored a purple top? If so, how much did you pay? If not, how much would you pay? To be honest, I probably wouldn't pay anything for Willet. Not that I'm sure it's not good, but I had a Willet Rye one time that really just like, it could have been bad for all I know, because it made my whole mouth tingle like if I ate like a bumblebee. You know, it was weird. So I've never really been like, ooh, let me find Willet. If I ever found it at MSRP and it was just sitting there, I would buy it because I feel like that's good for like channel, but not personally am I looking for Willet purple top or not. So, but I mean, I'll sample anything. If somebody has samples and they're around me, they were like, hey, try this, I would definitely try that. Shay says, Barrel Seagrass. Nope. Actually, what's up, bro? Richard Pierce, just subscribed. Richard, welcome to the family. Another dick in the chat. You know what's funny? I don't have a bottle of the Seagrass. I have a sample from Eric. I don't want to drink Eric's samples right now because we're still debating if those are COVID samples and I'm going to get sick. So I'm going to stay away from that right now. Dominic says, you part of Grand Reserve from Total Wine? Were you in the raffle for the first half of the year? No, I'm not. I honestly, like, Total Wine is like the one spot that I go to that I spend the least amount of money. Like, I shop there quite often, but I don't spend almost any money in there. Like, I leave out of there under $100 all the time. Or almost every other liquor store, it's like close to, if not more than $100. So I'm like whatever the second highest tier is, but I'm not in the Grand Reserve, so I don't get all the fancy stuff. You'd think I would be, but I'm not. Raphael says, Christian, I actually think both bottles are worth it. Knob tastes like cherry oak tobacco, and the Jack is more like bananas caramel oak, in my opinion. That's a good example, actually. The knob's a little weird, like a little light for me. I don't know about the single barrel, but it's a little thin, has a weird note that I'm not the biggest fan of. It's not bad by any means, but it's just not like, it doesn't sit like to my preference. That's why I'm not the biggest Knob Creek fan. Old Forester Barrel Strength Rye. No, I didn't pick that one up yet, but I am. That one is at a few liquor stores around here, but for some reason they just raised the price on them. It was like 65, 70 bucks, and they jacked them up. And I was like, hey, well, hold up. Go back to that other price. I want to pay that. All right, I'm going to drink this rye because I have nothing that pleases Chase. I don't want to drink the Emerald Giant. Hey, Chase, you know what would be, I'm not saying go watch 17-hour live stream that I'm not live for, but we did a live stream on New Year's Eve, and I went over my entire collection going into 2025. That will show you almost every bottle I have, except for the ones that I've bought this year. And I feel like you've been around more this year anyway. So. Bro, Christian couldn't say it better. He's like, every time I walk into Total Wine, I feel like I'm walking into a used car lot with the salesman following me around. And they're recommending like every like bullshit Total Wine bottle they can find. They're like, you ever tried, Bagcock? You ever had Bank Street bourbon? You know, like they just offer you the most, like, who recommends that? Like, get out of here. They're never like, yeah, hey, we got some Redwood Empire over here. We got the Woodford's Double Oak back there. We got some good, we got some Ryes over here. They're just like point you towards the Total Wine bottles. I'm like, stop it. You ain't getting me. Bro, Chase, no, you're not. No way. No way. Unless you're just picking the most like off the wall bottles. What do I have that's different? My most like weird bottle that most people have not tried is probably going to be my St. Augustine ones. Obviously, I live like right next to a distillery. I like St. Augustine's. I know a lot of people give me shit about St. Augustine's, but like they're good, right? Now I will say their Florida straight bourbon, the one that most people are gonna find, it's only 88 proof. So I get where like the bourbon community is not going to be in love with that bottle. Totally get it. It's more like for the family friendly, like super approachable. But I have this one. This one is about 110, 120 proof, somewhere in that window. I can't even remember off the top of my head. But it's a single barrel select for Shores Liquor. It's the single barrel, to be honest, was the best thing that I've had from St. Augustine. I've had the Saint, their $200 bottle. I've had their port finish. I've had their toasted. I've had almost everything they've offered. And their Florida Straight's good. You know what I mean? Like, it's good whiskey to just kind of have on the shelf. But this single barrel was nuts. I got this on Thanksgiving. I almost hammered it in like that night. So I also like St. Augustine's old-fashioned cocktail syrup because it's the only old-fashioned cocktail syrup that's actually aged. The syrup's actually aged in old-fashioned or in bourbon barrels. That's also what the Saint is then aged in. They take out that syrup, bottle it up, and then they age the Saint in the old-fashioned cocktail syrup barrels. So it's a weird, unique cycle. Raphael says, that's funny. What's funny about Total Wine is Traverse City I got was actually their store pick on discount for 40 bucks. The bottle was amazing, especially at a discount. I'm not saying you can't get some good things from Total Wine by any means. I just meant like Total Wine's normally offering you like their basic like push me bottles, Ooh, Miss Mabel says, I think my next bottle is going to be Ben Holiday Rick House. I love the soft red wheat, so I'm sure it'll be a great one. Shay says, New Rift rye? Yep, I do have the New Rift 8-year rye. I never got the single barrel of their ryes. I imagine it's really good, but I started hunting the 8-year stuff, and I was like, all right, yeah, that's got to be good enough, right? Like, who wants the single barrel if the 8-year is good? I do like the single barrel bourbon more than I like the 8-year bourbon, though. It's just because the couple extra proof points really, like, it's like 10 or 11 proof points. It just brings in a little bit more flavor notes. So that's also a pick. I don't know. I think I got it from Costco or Publix. Pull that up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, drop a little like on the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. We are on the road to 2,500 subscribers. Do you like the New Rift 8-year bourbon better than the 8-year rye? Ooh. I don't know. I typically gravitate more towards bourbon than rye in general, right? I really like their 8-year rye, but it's not my favorite rye by any means. Heaven Hill Grain to Glass, Rocket Top for Redwood Empire, even the Devil's Tower is like a high rye bourbon. Like all three of those would go above that New Rift 8-year. But it's really good. I guess I'd have to pick the bourbon, especially after that old fashioned I had on Wednesday. That was money. So Raphael says, any liquor store recommendations for people who have been to Louisville? Going at the end of March. Let them know, boys. I've never been. So somebody let them know. Jay says, I literally just Googled a popular rye for 2024. For that one, I didn't know my stuff was obscure. Hey, maybe you just got like the most craziest like collection that you can find. Who knows? I mean, I like it. I'm not knocking it. I just love giving you a little bit of crap too. So North Florida says, time for this Pipe Dream 101. Bro, I love the Pipe Dream 101. That's this one, right? So Pipe Dream 101 is probably my favorite redwood. I don't like when you just look at overall like everything encompasses Pipe Dream 101. Price, flavor, proof. But I like that Rocket Top, love the Grizzly Beast, Devil's Tower. Those are all really good, but they're all an extra $30 more than the Pipe Dream and less proof. So it just depends on what your preference is. I think if you never had a Redwood Empire, Pipe Dream 101 would be the go-to. Unless you're just kind of respectfully on a lower budget, then all the white labels are also pretty good. So Jesus Christ. After drinking Penelope all night, moving to the Jack Daniels, I probably just jumped like 35 proof points. And that was like, I mean, delicious little sip there, but that was like punch you in the face. That's one of my favorite pours is Pipe Dream 101. Oh, RMC. We on the same page, baby. All of a sudden, everybody's on the same page with me as Redwood Empire. Okay, I see where we're at now. Chris says, Bruzel did a hunting video in Louisville. Found a store that sold pours. I just can't remember the name of these stores. It's always nice to try before you buy. I don't know. Like, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. Yeah, if they're decent price and you can do that and you have the time, absolutely. In St. Augustine and in Jacksonville, I just found out there's two of like the quote unquote bigger liquor stores that have two really good pour bars attached to it. Probably not this month, but I think maybe sometime in April, I'm either going to do like an improv live stream or just a random live stream where I go to one of these places and you guys can like pick a couple of the pours that I end up buying. We'll try them, just drink them, rank them, do whatever with them. And I think that could be a fun video because pour bars are becoming a little bit more popular. The question though is like, are they fair price? Because nobody wants to spend $300 on a 1 ounce pour. I don't, for sure. Not that it wouldn't be fun to try some really expensive, hard to get whiskey. Kind of part of the fun for me is finding it. So, but not that I don't think that would be a fun video idea, a fun experience for everybody to kind of come along as well. So, Northwest says that's some heat, huh? It probably had some heat for real. Miss Mabel says barrel jacks are hot as. Not that that's a bad thing. No, it's not a bad thing. It was really a ton of flavor on it. It just going from like 90, 93 to 135 just kind of like caught me off guard for a second. I was like, this is it. This is how I die, right on stream. So if you're just now popping in, welcome to stream. Happy Friday. Hopefully you had a good week and hopefully you have a good pour going or a drink in general. Let me know what you're sipping on. Drop a little like on stream and of course, subscribe to the channel. iRock says, still haven't had Redwood. iRock, what are we doing, bro? What we doing? We got to send you something? Like, what we got to do? Christian said, just went from Woodford's Double Oak to Green River Foolproof, and I had the same tongue punch. Christian, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're kind of like picking out some bangers tonight, though. Redwood Empire's got that nice, sweet chocolate note. Let me know. I don't know if this was your comment. Somebody comment this. Green River Foolproof has like this minty and like milk chocolate, which reminds me of like Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. Your next little sip, give a little nose, give a little taste, and let me know if you get Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. Just curious. North Florida says, we're supposed to be coming to St. Augustine soon. Need to stop by Shores. There's like 15 million Shores liquors. Shores Liquor on Wells Road is going to be the best one for sure. But then they have like 210's, a decent one. The one in St. Augustine on 16 is also a really good one, so check those out. Chris says, I remember the store even selling pours of Double Eagle Rare for $3,000. Crazy. I just saw a bottle of the Double Eagle Very Rare for $4,000 for the bottle. So the prices definitely came down. It's still over there. I was going to make a little short with it, but yeah, it was $3,999.99 is what it was going for. Chase says, still Austin Cast Rye is a great pour. I have the artist, not the cast strength one. Don't know why. I just never picked it up because I started looking for other stuff. I love their artist, though. It's really good. Their cast strength bourbon is money. North Florida says, we all tried one. North Florida says, we all tried Granddad 114 iRock. It's time for you to try Redwood. I would recommend, if he's going to try it, Redwood Empire Pipe Dream 101. That should be his bottle of first time getting into Redwood. Don't pick up the white labels and be like, oh, they recommended me this. Get the 101. Don't get the cast strength. It's too much money. If you really wanted to spend the money, get the Grizzly Beast Bottle and Bond. That's the one. Yeah. North Florida is spot on. He says the Pipe Dream and the Pipe Dream 101. They're both great. The 101 is a little bit more flavorful and proof. Yeah, the Pipe Dream 101 is a different mash bill than the regular white label or the Cask Strength Pipe Dream. It has an extra like grain of Trinical in it, I believe. Fuck it, I'm gonna pull it over. Trinical, something like that. Oh, it's not on the bottle. I mean, the proof, obviously, it's an extra 11 proof points. That's not the only thing. The mash bill has been slightly tweaked. Not sure why they tweaked it, but I'm okay with it. So, yeah. Christian said, I don't know if that's just a power of suggestion, but I got that dusty mint note. I got it on a little sample somebody sent me, and I go, I love this because it tastes like Thin Mints. Then I went and picked up a bottle solely for that, and I was like, it's probably not going to have it. Now I'm worried. And I got it, tasted. I instantly got that mint note. One of the easiest notes for me to pick up has always been the chocolate. So the mint was just right there as well. So I really like Green River for that reason. Miss Mabel says, I'm locked into Cask Strength. How do you go back? Once you go Cask Strength, you don't go back. That's it. You're locked in. I mean, you just can't start the night on a Cask Strength. You need to work lower proof and then slowly work your way in. The only time you ever go back is when you're ready to stop drinking and you're already pretty much in the bag and you're like, I just want one more. Just drink whatever. It doesn't really matter because you're not going to remember it. Or you're not going to care too much. Or stop drinking, drink a bunch of water, to cleanse your palate, and then just switch to something super low. Go to 80 proof, then grab a 90 proof, and kind of then try to reset it. I don't know if that will work, but maybe. Chase says, maybe I need to give Redwood another chance. I bought the Emerald Giant Cask Strength, and it was just okay. The Emerald Giant is probably the weakest one of them all. It's not bad. It's an okay entry point into Rise, but it just doesn't really give you a lot of anything. It's just kind of in the middle, okay. Lost Monarch's a blend of all of them. I personally like it, but I even like just the regular white label Lost Monarch better because it's just a really super light, easy to drink whiskey. And that's what I was going to whenever I just was drinking I don't care whiskey. I'm just throwing stuff back for fun, right? The Cask Strength stuff are okay. But again, just not, I don't know, 80, 90 bucks just doesn't really fit right with me for that bottle. The Pipe Dream 101 is definitely really good. Grizzly Beast was my favorite for a while. The Rocket Top Rye was one of my favorite ryes. That's won a lot of the blinds for me. The Van Dusen, not the biggest fan, but if you like malt, then that's a good one for you. I have the Screaming Titan and the Devil's Tower. I thought I was going to like the Screaming Titan better. I don't. I like the Devil's Tower better. Not that Screaming Titan's bad, but just when you drink the two side by side. Chris says, what bottle did you say had Girl Scout cookie Thin Mints notes? That sounds amazing. It's Green River Full Proof. So Green River Full Proof had, to me, a chocolate note and a mint note that reminded me exactly of Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. So there we have it. Mine's 118.1 proof. That and these bottles also have a really cool game where you can flick a quarter, try to get them stuck under the bottle. Raphael says, if you ever try the Castle and Key Restoration Rye, it is a must try for a rye. It's very fruity. It tastes like spiced green apples, kind of like an apple pie taste. Sounds pretty good. Castle and Key. Everybody tried to recommend me that Blade and Bow, and it wasn't good, so it kind of threw me off. Chase says, what's your favorite rye on your shelf? Favorite rye on my shelf is going to be probably this one, right? this one I've actually done in a blind, and it won like twice. But this one is Heaven Hill grain to glass is also really good. I don't know, Heaven Hill is just a great distillery. This one's 123 proof. Just a really good rye. This one, it just hits you with like the right notes. It's a bottle and bond, so it's only 100 proof, but the mash bill on this is 89% rye, 5% wheat, and 6% malted barley. This is batch number 4, bottled in June of 2024. So, Christian, you just made me buzz open a box of my daughter's Girl Scout cookies. Yeah, I'm sure I'm the one that forced you to do that. You can blame it on me. It's fine. I have a couple open boxes myself, so. Northford says, haystack needle. Any chance? Haystack needle? Question mark. Had a chance to grab one, but grabbed something else. So the haystack was, I got an email well before I even hit the market saying, hey, you have a chance to buy both, MSRP, but they're like 125 MSRP, I think. And I was just like, man, if I buy one, I need the other one because there's no point for me. Like, I need to have both. But I really didn't want to spend $250. It was going to be like $300 with shipping. And I go, I just made an order for Redwood Empire, and I bought all the small lot series. So I was like, I really don't want to make another order for $300. I was like, I'm kind of bottled out right now. That, and there's only so much I can talk about Redwood before people were getting mad. So I just didn't. I want them. I hear they're really good, but I have not had them. Miss Mabel says, how do you have that much of that Heaven Hill? I don't know. I have a lot of whiskey, and I don't really get around to drinking a lot. Do you want? I don't know. Should I drink some? I'll drink some of this. This sounds good right now. I'm gonna save so you can see which one I've drank more of. You know what I mean? Like, I've definitely drank the Redwood. The Redwood has been like that. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, this one's really good. I love the proof. But like, when I go for a bottle, I've been going to this one for ryes. I just grab it. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with that. Even though that one's just as expensive, you know? Raphael says, IROC, you're breaking my heart, man. I'd have to drink that. I mean, I get it. If you see Pikesville in your area, I recommend it. That's pretty good. Low proof option. For a low proof option, how low proof are we talking? Are we talking under 90? Because I don't want under 90. Unless it's Fireball Tux Jesus. God damn, that's a hot one too. Let me put my whiskey away. That's like one of my biggest issues here. It's just making sure it all stays put away. Let me do that. There we go. Have I had anything wood hat? No, I have not. Yes. I know. What? Miss Babel has joined the family. Welcome to the family. Oh, that's a new member. Oh, welcome, welcome. For a second, I was like, I could have swore they've been subscribed. iRock says, hey, we doing fantasy baseball? God, no. I mean, I'd love to. But, bro, it's... Fantasy baseball is so hard. Like, it's such a long season. So many moving parts. .92 proof. That's good enough. You know, I'm down with that. Anything above 90 is like an okay. Like, I'm okay with it. iRock says, come on, man. What are we coming on to? Oh, my bad. Fantasy. He said, let's do it. I just don't know if I have the time to do fantasy baseball. I got to do fantasy football. We'll do fantasy football again for sure. But, fantasy football is definitely something like we're going to do. It's definitely going to be like one of the member things. We'll have our own little live streams over there. That's where we're going to do all the fantasy stuff this year. Now that we have access to that, and I don't have to bug all the normal people that don't care about that kind of stuff. So it's not like it really matters because apparently the wife's going to wipe the floor with everybody again. So we'll see. That we got time on that. It's like it's a part-time job. It really is. iRock, have you ever played fantasy baseball? Just out of curiosity. It's tough, bro. Fantasy baseball is like legit. Fantasy football is like you check Sunday morning, Saturday night, and you kind of let it ride. You know, every once in a while you get an alert and you kind of swap it up. You know, in the beginning of the season you check the waiver wire a couple times, but after that you kind of let it ride. You know, for the most part, unless you have injuries, then different story. So just to give you guys an idea, the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass rye, really good. I really want the weeded one. I feel like the weeded one, everybody talks about being great. And I see this one, I see the blue one, which is just a straight bourbon whiskey. Like, I see those on the shelf all the time now. The weeded, I've never even seen on the shelf. But if I do see it, that's going to be like unless it's like some crazy secondary or something, but I doubt it. But that's like an automatic pickup for me. In there twice daily, legitimately. Damn, bro. All that just to come in like almost last place? That sucks. The issue is I'd start drafting all these like Marlin players, and they're all like AA players, you know? They're nobodies. Back in 2003, would have played all day. And Jaeger. A little Jaeger and Red Bull. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to shut her down. It's 11 o'clock. I got to be up in like 5 hours and drive for like 4 hours. So I got a day ahead of me tomorrow. I will not be live tomorrow because I will not even be back to the house in... Do I have Burham weeded? I do not. The only weededs that I actually have are going to be the new Bardstown. I have that one. That one's probably like my favorite right now. I have the Penelope weeded, also pretty good and also pretty cheap too, which is like a good plus. We have the Antique 107 on the way. So that, and I want to get the Green River weeded. So I have like 2 for sure that I know of. There may be other ones in here. Oh, like I have the Weller Special Reserve. There's other ones in here for sure. I just don't know them off the top of my head. El Diablo said, "Where you headed?" I'm headed to South Florida for a wedding. Part of like one of my many jobs. But it's a 4-hour drive down, 4-hour drive back. I'm doing it all in one spin. Oh, he said Toodles. Bro, I've been watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Going, oh, Toodles. Bro, it's been a day. Norfolk says, good pour, had a few that grained to glass, but an empty, only blue and green on the shelf. They had the cheapest redwood, I think, the Rocky Top for $7.99. That's normal MSRP. It's worth it. Half my lights are different too, which is crazy. Isaiah said, it was fun. Iraq says, take care, safe travels. Hey, I'm gonna have to look into them. Christian says, enjoy the wedding. I'm the photographer, so I don't really get to enjoy it, but hopefully I get to enjoy it. But I'm probably just gonna be working. Fantasy Stepmom League, get the fuck out of here. That's funny. Guys, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all that jazz. And I will see you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know when I'm gonna see you. Maybe tomorrow? Not tomorrow. Let me rephrase it. Maybe Sunday. Maybe we pop on for a quick Sunday live stream or something like that. Or maybe Monday. Isn't Monday St. Patrick's Day? Maybe I grab me a little. I probably won't buy no Irish whiskey, but maybe, you never know. Anything can happen. So, but yeah, again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all that jazz, and I will see you on the other side. Peace.